Hi there, I'm Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up for Sunday, May 24th, 2020. And I'm recording this tonight from my bedroom here in Austin, Texas. It's 10:35 p.m. I am glad to be recording this still on a Sunday. It has been a doozy of a week for me personally. So we've had four planets in retrograde this week. Pluto went first. We've had Saturn, Jupiter, and Venus all retrograde as well. And I've been saying that when you've got that many planets retrograde, it's not really about moving forward. It's about looking within, being introspective. Not really time to start new things unless it's something that's left over or being brought from something you haven't completed in the past. And so for me, that that showed up in me badly damaging my left toe almost a week ago at 3:30 in the morning tonight. It'll be 1 week since I dropped my old sandwich sign that I used to use outside of Marigold on my feet, and primarily my left big toe took the brunt of it. And it's still black and blue. I will lose a toenail because it's black along that. I did not break it. I can move it. I got on it with arnica and ice packs, immediately screaming, of course, at my two boys that are in the house to bring me those things and ibuprofen. And then I had my girlfriend Ellie come by this week, 2 days this week, and like shoot it with this cool laser technology healing light thing that she does. And essential oils we've been putting on it. I've been putting on it. She brought me a special blend. And I've ibuprofen for inflammation, and I've had to just lay down and prop it up because it's that badly damaged. I have not injured myself this badly my whole adult life. And so even though I haven't broken it, I know I haven't gone to a doctor. I just know that because I can move it. And it's still lovely colors of blue and purple, my favorite colors. And but like just for example, like underneath the big toe, that little crook underneath the toe there, that is bruised as well, and the whole toe area was bruised and into the like midway through my foot. Like to have the underneath of the arch of my toe bruised when I dropped something on the top of my foot just shows how badly I smashed my foot. I was crying the ugly cry for 2 hours. Like it was bad. It's the worst pain I've had since labor. And I literally had to resort to breathing through the pain like I did through labor. I just had to surrender to the overwhelming pain. Good thing I'm adept after birthing 6 babies at this tool. So that was me a week ago. And so this whole week I've just been laid up with my foot propped up. So it's forced me, the universe has forced me to like sit back, take it easy, rock it up. My girlfriends have come in full force to support me this week. It's been such an awesome display of support. Ellie bringing by not only her laser healing technology, but homemade vegan food that was so delish. And then her daughter's visit was also just lovely. Solana and Celise are just some angels in my life. So it was really lovely having them come in. I had Angel Cat. I'm happy to announce I now have an assistant. And so Kat Malone will be assisting me getting all my business ends together. So that's going to be hugely helpful. And we started talking about this months ago. So this is like a Venus retrograde thing that was like, okay, picking up plans that already started. So that was awesome this week. And then I had Elizabeth and Jasmine and Jasmine's new son, Lorenzo, who was born in January, come by this week, bringing beautiful energy in that way. I have continued to do some readings over the phone this week. Mostly I've been scheduling things for next week, as most of you know if you've tried to contact me this week, just to give myself a chance to heal and to focus on receiving healing energy. And so thanks, Paige, out in Cali, for healing work sent my way. Thanks, Logan in Albuquerque, for healing work and insight, and for being just the most wonderful of friends. And thank you to my clients and anyone who's watching this right now. Like, I really appreciate your love and your support that I get from, and feedback that I get from clients. And a lot of my clients turn into friends. A lot of my clients have been with me for decades. If this is the first time you're hearing this, I've been doing professional psychic readings for 32 years. I've been a practicing Nichiren Buddhist for 36 years. My spiritual practice is the center of my life, and why I can do be a single mother of 6 children that I birthed all one at a time, the last 5 at home, and homeschooled them all. The reason I can do that is because of my spiritual practice. I plug in to my spiritual practice every morning for at least an hour. Days like this, when I'm going to be doing something important, I do 2 hours. I do evening prayers as well. I chant throughout the day whenever I need to. It's one of my self-care tools. The most important one for me, and the one I've been wielding for 36 years in a way that actually works in my life to help me access my Buddha nature within, and to put me in rhythm in the universe. And it's my tool for clearing out the debris in my mind and my emotional body, and for sending prayer to others, and for I get lots of my psychic downloads when I'm chanting. So it's just an amazing, wonderful tool that I'm super grateful for in my life. And so just as an introduction for those of you that don't know, that's how I approach my work, is from a very spiritual platform. Psyched-Up is all about the fact that I believe that everyone has psychic ability. We all are intuitive. And for some of us, the volume is turned up louder than others. For some people, the volume's turned down, or the volume button's off. Just like some people are blind and some people are deaf, but the majority, everybody has all their senses. So there's definitely some people that are psychically disconnected from their intuition, but majority of us have an intuition that we can access. And when you pay attention to it, it grows and develops and gets even stronger. And so that's what the whole Psyched-Up thing is. That I believe everyone needs to access their own intuition. And what I feel like I do in my work as a psychic doing readings is like I hold a big mirror up to validate your own intuition and to show you the way and see if you're off track or not. And the more you listen to your own intuition, the more on track you are. The more you disregard or don't know how to connect with, or don't listen to your own intuition, you're going to be off track if you're not integrating the intuition, that higher self, into your life. That is our GPS system for our life. If you listen to the intuition, it guides you right exactly where you need to go. And so we only have to figure this out one day at a time. So when I sit down and chant in the mornings, I've been chanting from here. I have my travel gohonzon over here. I brought my altar bell from my altar here beside my bed, but all my daily guidances are here, loaded up on my bed. No matter what, I'm going to be chanting, even if I have to do it from my bed. So that's my number one tool. And so the download I got this week to do for this today is to talk about boundaries as the topic, and also to play a song I wrote that I've played before in a Psyched-Up tape, but I was directed to do it again, and to this time slow down and sing it slower so people can understand the words. It's called The Vision. It is one of my channeled songs. And so that's one of my messages this week, is to slow it down, both in movement and in speech. And now I'm a triple Aries. My sun and my moon and my Mercury are all in Aries. Mercury, planet of communication. And so I just can often just blurt out there. My Mars is in Leo too, so I've got lots of fire. Sometimes, it makes me a great channel. But I have to watch it because I will talk too fast. I feel like when I'm giving a reading and then someone's paying for their time, for my time, by the minute or whatever, by a certain time frame, the more I can fit in 15 minutes and 30 minutes and an hour or whatever, the better their reading's going to be. That's how I look at it. So, but I understand with my Texas twang that everybody might not be able to understand what I'm saying when I talk really quickly. So one of the things I'm going to endeavor to do in all things is to slow down my speech. That's one of the things, insights I have gotten this week, that for not only this week, but to carry forward. So that's an example, a personal example of how this retro period can literally, you might have a literal block like I have, or, in your life. That's how retrogrades can show up. But I had written down retro, because it's people get freaked out about it too. But if you embrace it, like one of the things I learned as a Buddhist, one of the concepts that I take with me through my life is that when I encounter something negative in my life, I look at it either as poison that needs to be transformed into medicine, or an obstacle that needs to be turned into a benefit, because that's how I was trained in my Buddhist faith, that to not be afraid of anything that we encounter, that everything we encounter in our life is a reflection of ourselves. As we transform our life by doing our inner work, our environment gets better and better and shifts and changes. And the more we listen to ourselves and honor that, it's like, and listen to our Buddha nature. I'm a Buddhist, so I'm going to call my inner higher voice my Buddha nature. If you're a Christian, you can call that your Christ self. You can call that your higher self, your goddess self, your divine self, whatever, your voice of the universe, whatever works for you. It doesn't matter, right? Shakespeare says, a rose by any other name will smell as sweet. So drop your mental precepts about how the divine can show up, and know that when you tap into your psychic abilities in a spiritual way, there's nothing to be afraid of. A lot of people have programmed religious things in their past that tells them that psychic things are of the devil or to be feared. Men in particular are afraid of women's intuition because all of us, the mind, we're taught that the mind is king, and truthfully, our intuition, our higher self is king, and so queen in our lives. And so our mind really needs to take a back seat to our intuition. Like our inner voice, our inner guide should come through, lead the way, and our mind goes, yeah, oh, cool, that's exciting, as an example. So I wanted to do a shout out of gratitude for anybody who's watching this video right now, listening to it, for my clients that have been with me for decades, my friends that support me, my girlfriends that showed up in full force this week. I really appreciate it. So I do want to do 2 shout outs to astrology websites that I want to recommend. Anybody who wants to delve into your astrology deeper yourself, Astro.com, I've been using the longest. Astro.com. Free to register. There's a long list of free things that you can do and explore through that website. I use that site also to do my extended charts when I'm doing readings for people, and bring up all the extra things that I like to look at in a chart, and the transits and all that. I bring those up through astro.com. And so I subscribe to a bigger data bank because I have so many clients' information that I save. But even that's a nominal fee considered what I get out of it's amazing site. Okay, so that's one. And then another service that I use daily is SiriusJoy.com. So, and that's Sirius like the star, SIRIUS.com. So this is run by Christopher Witecki, who's like very wise astrologer, who's put together this amazing package that you get through this service. The first month is $3.99, $4 to try it out for 30 days. And then monthly, it's like 19 something, 99, whatever. It's $20 a month is what I factored in. Amazing. Like, I don't even utilize all the things that are in this service, but what I do utilize every day is there's a audio tape that he has for every day. It's like 15 to 20 minutes long that goes into the daily transits. I listen to it every day to know what's up. It's like the weather forecast. And so that's been indispensable for me. Also throughout the day, I get like 6 to 8 text messages that will alert me to different astrological things that are going on, but also it'll just shoot messages to me about my chart, or about in a past life, or it'll give me a heads up if I need to know, like it's a new moon apex or a full moon apex right now, or that like there's a square that's exact right now, or whatever. Like I get those kind of notices too. He does weekly forecast and monthly. There's forums within I mean, it is so chock full. Of course, personal portrait things. He talks about your A story and your B story, your A story being your sun sign and your B story being your rising sign. So I just want to give a shout out to Christopher Watecki and his Serious Joy service. He has YouTube videos beyond this too that are free. So if you want to check him out for free, you can look him up in that way. Christopher Watecki. Soul Garden, I think, is one of his platforms. Anyway, so I've been getting a whole lot out of the service for a couple years. And so I wanted to share that with anybody who's interested in diving more deeply into astrology or learning more. Okay, those two shout outs. And then, okay, boundaries, the subject I've been guided to talk about. Okay, so I learned the most about boundaries from my children. 6 children have taught me a lot about boundaries. And one of the coolest things I learned in a parenting class when my second child, Samantha, was an infant. So she was born in 91. So I took a parenting class through the Church of Conscious Harmony with Barbara Cook. And she's one of the ministers at the church. And I mean, I think there's a co-teacher as well, but I just remember her words. And that she had said something that was super profound to me, which is that you can say no with love and kindly. It was like a eureka what moment for me, because I had never in my life heard no delivered with love and kindly. Like, oh my God, I was like, what a concept. I was usually heard no delivered like no, you know. A no with a and a shame, like you should have asked, kind of a thing attached. And so that you could say no with love and it could still be effective. And then I learned 2 very effective phrases from her that were initially you were supposed to be saying with your children to set boundaries in a kind and loving way. But I've used them more with adults than I have with my children. And I've used them with all 6 of my children, trust me. But 2 things to say. If you want to say no in a kind way without having to give an explanation as to why you're saying no, is you say, that's not going to work for me. Or, I'm not willing to do that. All kinds of tones involved in that. Like, oh, that's not going to work for me. Or, yeah, I'm not willing to do that. It sets a boundary of no. I can do it in a bazillion ways. I've tried. Trust me. That's not going to work for me. Like no. Practice it. The more you practice it, the easier it gets. Okay, so my number 1 child, I learned no, because no for her, no matter how kind I tried to say it, meant ask 12 more times, and she would finally wear me down, and I would finally go, okay, yes, finally. And then, so I created a monster who, truthfully, doesn't respect people's boundaries and stomps all over people still today. And I'm still setting boundaries with her today because I didn't set them well when she was a toddler. But I'm a first-time parent. I was a single parent by the time she was a toddler, and so you don't know what you don't know. And you learn things as you go along. And I also learned with my first child that my spiritual practice showed up in her behavior. If I didn't chant in the morning, she was a hellion. If I chanted, she loved and adored me. And our day went beautifully. And so that was one of the first things I learned in my spiritual practice that showed me, OMG, how powerful it was beyond what it does for me, that it extends to affecting the life condition of my children. So that was one of the things I learned through parenting and setting no. And so number 4 child was a revisit of number 1, meaning no meant asked 12 more times. But I was adept at that point at saying no. And she could ask 362 days. Like, it's still going to be no. I love you, but no. This is a child who I weaned off the tit at age 3 because this was my second round of tandem nursing. That means nursing 2 children. Yes, that does. I nursed Samantha through my pregnancy with Malachi until I weaned them both when I found out I was pregnant with Genoa. And then Genoa, I nursed through my pregnancy with Jaden. And when she was 3, I said, you're done. And she asked every day, can I nurse? And I said, no. Every day for an entire year from age 3 to 4. Genoa asked me, "Can I nurse?" Or she'd come up and just stare at my titties. "Can I nurse?" She tried every angle. And I would always go, "You really miss nursing, don't you?" "No, you're a big girl now." And what I didn't realize, like, mommy's fried and she has nothing more to give and the. But, so boundaries learned along the way. So, what else do I have on my list? Oh, we all go through phases is another thing I've learned from my children. That we learn through repetition. I've learned that through my children. So when we have a negative groove in our brain, I talked about this in the song I sang last week. I sang an original song last week called Old Story, and it was about like when you recognize your brain is stuck in a groove, you can pick up the needle out of the stuck part and put it down in a new place. And so that's kind of what I've learned to do with my mind when I get obsessed on things. And the first thing I got obsessed about was food, and relationships is close to second. Like, that's the things that I've worked the most about redirecting my mind about. So, so self-care toolkit. For me, chanting, soaking in the tub, going for walks, playing my instruments, doing any kind of art, doing a puzzle, writing in my journal, calling a friend, breathing deeply, exercising, eating good food. Like my brain chemistry I learned for self-care, I need flaxseed oil and B vitamins for my brain. I need to stay away from white flour and white sugar because anything that you turn into a powder is turned into a drug in your system and doesn't do well. My brain, it works better off flour and sugar, so I stay off of that. I exercise. That really showed up this week when I couldn't. How important that is for me to try to. Fun, study, fun. Like, it's hard times out there, man. You have to work at laughing and finding the humor in this situation. But it's there if you look for it. Like, I work hard to find things to post on Facebook that are funny. They make me laugh out loud. Because that's healing, too. To be able to laugh. And sometimes that's the easiest thing. When you can do nothing else, you can search for funny videos, right? And try to find the humor in a situation. So, what else did I learn from my children? If you follow your intuition in guiding them, you'll do the best for them too. And that's what I've done for my children in homeschooling, all 6 of them, unschooling them, was listening to my intuition about what their gifts and talents were, and helping to facilitate that for them. And doing that for others. So boundaries. So saying no kindly, saying no with love. Okay? So I want everybody out there to practice that. If you're listening to this, you need to hear this message. So practice saying no with love. Practice saying no to yourself with love. That's not my food. That's not my story. That's not my business. Right? Those are all lyrics of my song last week. So I'm so grateful to my girlfriends. I said that before, but geez Louise, I can really see how I've changed karma and how the universe has showed up to support me this week. And it was so beautiful, and I'm so grateful. And okay, so this song I'm about to sing is called The Vision. It's a channeled song I wrote in my early 30s, when I'd already been doing professional psychic readings for a while. And I thought, God, wouldn't it be really nice if I could sit down and talk to myself when I'm like 100? And like, what would I say to myself? What would my guidance be? It'd be really cool if I could channel that right now. And then I sat down and got these words to spilled out, and it was a vision of me meeting with me when I'm old and gray, and what I have to say to myself. And so that's what this song is called, The Vision, and that's where it came about. I sang this song at Moon Sister celebrations. And Moon Sisters was a group that I formed with fellow homeschool moms and our daughters to honor them when they began their menses and became women. And instead of the story of shame and hide that and don't let anybody know and not really getting a heads up of what was involved in all that, we've like endeavored to create a celebration for our girls when that happens, and gifts and flower wreaths and beautiful songs like this one. that I sang at Moon Sister Celebration. So this goes out to my Moon Sisters and all women out there struggling to find a way right now in the center. I mean, everyone who's struggling to find a way. It's not just women, but I don't know. I'm just really feeling my soul sisters struggling this week. A lot of my girlfriends that even they're there for me, they're also struggling. So, and I said that last week that when you're struggling, one of the best things to do is to reach out and help somebody else. So I'm going to say that again this week. Is there anything else that I need to say in terms of my channeling? I'm getting a no on that. Okay, I'm going to do this song. And I'm going to try to do this from my bed. I ideally am sitting up better or standing when I sing so I can have a better diaphragm. So let me adjust myself a little bit here to try to get into somewhat of a position where I can breathe and sing. Okay. Hopefully this is still in tune. We're having thunderstorms right now, so if you hear thunder crashing or my tuning is a little bit off, I did tune it before I started this video, but oh, it's really coming down. The rain is really coming down right now. Really wonderful. Really cleansing for me. I love it. I love it. I love a good thunderstorm. Okay, I guess that's a benefit of still recording here at 11 p.m. It's still on a Sunday. You may not be watching this till Monday, but oh well, I'm injured. I got it out. I got her done. Anyway, it's that important to me. And to my guides who press on me to do this. All right, here we go. I saw her there with silver hair, a ring upon her hand that had seen more than 50 years of wear. She smiled at me, acknowledging the reason I was there. I traveled oh so far, made a wish upon a star, and I have found my dreams led me to you. I come from a place where fear has ruled my life. Big obstacles loom out and seem to clip my wings from flight. Can you tell me, will I break these karmic chains? And she said, be easy with yourself, relax, slow down, take one day at a time. It's hard to see now, but life has abundance to pour out to you. I searched her eyes to see the truth of what she knew. It said a one who'd seen my lifetimes three. And she said, be easy with yourself, relax, slow down, take one day at a time. Commitment to your path is all you need to see your dreams come true. I looked at her eyes the same as mine. I saw what I will look like over time. I saw her there with silver hair, a ring upon her hand that had seen more than 50 years of wear. She smiled at me, acknowledging the reason I was there. I traveled oh so far, made a wish upon a star. I have found my dreams will all come true. And she said, I know that love will flow through you. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Stay psyched up. That means stay listening to your own inner voice. Don't ever override it, right? Stick with you. You got you. And I got you. Let me know if I can help you in any way. My website will probably be going down for a little bit because I'm going to be revamping it. So if you need to get a hold of me, you still should be able to email me through my website, Karen Marie at KarenMariePsychic.com. But if not, you can email me at my personal my personal email address, which is bringoutthebuddha at gmail.com. And you have to spell Buddha right to get it to me. Bring out the Buddha, spelled Buddha at gmail.com. That's how you can get a hold of me if you want to schedule an appointment. Ask me any questions. Need to be connected to the Buddhist group closest to you. Those things I can do for you. All right. Take care. Y'all have a great day.